Hi everybody, this video is to show you how to use your anchor point attachment for our exercise band kit that we will be utilizing throughout our class. So for this one, to start off, you will need your anchor point attachment that comes with the kit. What it should look like is a foam attachment or a plastic attachment on the end, and then of course your loop end at the other side here. So for this one today, what we're going to be using is a door. That's probably the most common anchor point attachment that most of you guys will be utilizing. You can also use something like a handy dandy post to wrap your band around, but this will be the most common one that you'll have pretty much anywhere you'll go around the planet. You'll have a door somewhere you can utilize, okay? So for this one, step number one, we're gonna get our big chunky, our rubber stopping end here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the door. I'm gonna go for a high anchor point, so the top of the door for this one. All I'm gonna do is slide this so the flat end is between the door and where it closes here, and this big old chunk on the bottom is at the back and behind the door, okay? So I'm gonna reach up, place that behind, and simply gonna close the door. So with that one now, this anchor point should be locked in there nice and tight. What you want to do is make sure it's always pulling the door towards you. You don't want to push it towards the other way, because then if you do any kind of rowing exercises, the door should not open towards you. It should open away that way. If I pull on this guy here, what it does is it actually closes the door more for me. So no risk of the door coming back at you. Now we're going to go through two other anchor points. The other one will be the medium anchor point and the low anchor point, okay? So to go to the medium anchor point, what I'm going to do, open up my door. I simply slide my anchor point down the door frame. I'll kind of pull that out again. Remember, big end at the back, this end should be at the front. I'm going to now find what about medium height. So I like to put it just above the doorknob. That way it has a little something to catch onto, and that's about mid-body or mid-torso height for myself. The next one we're going to cover will be the low anchor point, okay? So that one will be at the very base or the bottom of the door. With that one, all I do, open up the door. Now I'm going to slide down. I'm going to shove my little loop underneath the door. And again, I'm going to simply just close the door. Now the loop will be at the very bottom, so I can loop and attach my bands and go for my high, my medium, and my low anchor points based on the workout we have planned for the day. Another part I wanted to talk about was how to utilize your anchor point while setting up your bands. So for this one, I've got my anchor point set at just medium height again with my door here. So a couple of different options. You can do two different options basically to set up your band. The first thing you can do, or the easiest one, is if you're going for a double banded setup or a little heavier tension setup, all you do, loop your band or throw your band through that open loop there, and then at the end of the handle, whoops, you'll get your clips, attach them to your handle here. And now basically you're locked in with your double banded anchor point that way. Now with that one you'll have of course two bands, so it will give you double the tension of what that band is rated for. Now to single it up, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unclip one side. I'm going to leave the other one attached to my handle here. Now this side, what I'm going to do, if I want a longer band or just the single pound tension, I'm going to now take my clip, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to clip that directly onto my loop here. So now I have my single band tension and my exercise anchor point locked in there, and that's how you now do the double band or single band setup for a mid-height anchor point, and the exact same concept would apply to the high anchor point or the low anchor point as well.